He is not just building resorts, he is shaping a new map of luxury. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, known as MBS, has turned a long stretch of the Red Sea into a constellation of private worlds. Here, futuristic architecture meets living coral gardens. Here, exclusivity is not a word, it is the geography itself. Welcome to the Red Sea Kingdom, a network of islands and lagoons where wealth, sustainability, and spectacle are combined into something completely new. This is not a vacation. This is a vision. We begin at Sindala Island, close to the Saudi coast, yet designed to feel like another planet. From above, the island looks like a polished jewel set on turquoise glass. Up close, it becomes a choreography of arrivals. Helicopters settle onto pads that glow at dusk. Super yachts slide into their berths with the elegance of white swans. Concierges await on floating walkways, a quiet ballet of white linen, silver trays, and restrained smiles. Sindala was not imagined as a resort. It was imagined as a season. When Europe chills, the elite migrate here, docking beside mirrored villas and sunlit promenades. 18 holes of championship golf sit between desert stone and water the color of a peacock feather. Restaurants line the marina like a Michelin directory brought to life. Glass and limestone are everywhere, but so are the signs of a different ambition. Coral restoration frames near the shore, solar and smart water systems humming in places guests never see. Step inside one of the villas. Curtains glide without a whisper. Aroma diffusers carry notes of saffron and cedar. A tablet controls everything from sea breeze shutters to the temperature of the plunge pool. On the horizon, yacht masts sketch delicate lines against a blue that looks painted. It is lavish, but there is a softness to it, an insistence that nature still leads. Travel south and the tone shifts from marina glamour to ecological theater. Shura Island rises from shallow water like a mirage that decided to become permanent. This is the heart of the Red Sea Project, a master plan to prove that a resort can be gentle, that luxury can sit on a reef and make the reef healthier. The buildings are light and low, shaped to look almost accidental, as if the tide left them there. Roofs curve like dune crests. Boardwalks twist through mangroves and lagoons. You walk and the world becomes pale gold, pale blue, pale white, until the only sharp color is the coral itself. High hospitality flags mark the beach paths. Names you know, names you expect, but the experience feels unfamiliar. Spaces are spread out. Air and silence are a design choice. Electric buggies drift by, more like whispers than vehicles. A championship golf course hugs the shoreline, cut into the land with a respect that is careful and almost reverential. Greens lift and fall like calm waves. Bunkers look like they were blown by wind, not carved by machines. Reach Shura by bridge and you understand the scale of the ambition. A ribbon of engineering connects sea to land, a quiet promise that logistics will never interrupt the illusion. On the far side of that ribbon, an airport receives travelers with the calm of a private terminal. No chaos, only choreography. Now the water deepens and our route becomes a line across the sea. 40 kilometers offshore, seaplanes descend toward a small family of islands called Umahhat. Here, two resorts define a new category. Not beach hotels, not overwater fantasies, something more considered. Each villa seems to grow from the lagoon itself. Curved roofs mimic the line where sand meets wind. Wood, stone, clay plaster, and glass are used with restraint and with purpose. At sunset, the structures turn rose gold, and the boardwalks glow like embers. Step into a villa, and the soundscape changes. Ocean hush, a ceiling fan with a soft thrum, the clink of glass on stone. From your deck, you can see parrotfish browsing on coral heads, eagle rays like shadows sliding past the pylons. Plastic is absent. Power is silent and clean. At night, there are stars, and on some nights, the water glitters with plankton like a second sky below you. Craft a perfect day here, and it feels almost mythic. A sunrise swim in water as warm as tea. Breakfast with fruit that tastes like it was picked 5 minutes ago. A dive with marine biologists who know the reefs by name. Lunch in the shade, grilled snapper perfumed with citrus leaves, an afternoon nap on linen cooled by sea breeze. A sunset paddle over coral gardens that look like ancient cities. Dinner under an architecture of starlight that needs no architect. Then there is Shabara Island, a work of imagination set into the sea. This is the island people talk about when they want to talk about design, when they want to talk about courage. 73 villas over water and along shore. The overwater villas are spheres and curves and mirrored skins that catch sun and sky. From a distance, they look like floating pearls, a string of light laid across crystal water. From inside, they feel like sky capsules, walls widening to a horizon line that never ends. Here, engineering is part of the aesthetic. Stainless steel bones taper into terraces that hold private pools, glass rails, and lounges that feel like the deck of a super yacht. At noon, the water is a sheet of silver. At dusk, the villas glow like lanterns. The resort runs on solar. The waste is accounted for. The water is managed as if it were treasure. If a place can be both sculpture and sanctuary, this is it. Shabara is also where you can feel the Red Sea itself taking a bow. Snorkel out to a drop-off and look down into an amphitheater of blue. A theater that has been open for millions of years. A theater that is still adding new scenes. Sea turtles cruise past with an expression that reads like patience. Purple and yellow anthias curl around coral like confetti in a breeze. It is cinema without screens. A different idea appears with Leia Island, a plan that looks beyond the weekend. This island is meant to be lived, not sampled. It is a garden community set within a ring of timber and shadow, apartments and villas drawn together by water, markets, and courtyards. Every street breathes, every balcony is designed for shade and leaves. A marina, a beach club, a racket club, schools for water and wind, an 18-hole course that sits gently into the land. The idea is simple and bold. Do not escape nature. Integrate it so well that it becomes your everyday. Picture a morning in Leia. Light rises through wooden screens. The air smells like salt and jasmine. You walk a shaded path past a wall of green that was planted not for show, but for temperature, for birds, for the feeling of being held. You cross a bridge and glance down at fish flickering in a canal. The market is a swirl of color, coffee and dates and ripe figs, and then you step into a marina scene where the water is still enough to reflect the sky without a ripple. There are projects that ask to be visited, and there are projects that ask to be believed in. Leia is the second kind. It is the version of luxury that wants to be permanent, a way of living that is elegant and careful, not just glamorous. Not every island here is built around scale. Thuwal Private Retreat is the opposite, a whisper rather than a proclamation. One island, one primary villa, satellite pavilions leaning into the view, a staff that moves like choreography. Guests arrive without fuss. The seaplane touches down, and then there is only sea, sky, and service that anticipates before you speak. Menus are designed around the moment, music is tuned to the wind, and privacy is not a policy, it is the air itself. It is not a hotel, it is a feeling. All of these islands connect back to a larger promise, Vision 2030, the national project that reimagines Saudi Arabia beyond oil. Tourism, culture, sport, and technology are the pillars. The Red Sea is the showpiece. Tens of thousands of jobs, training programs that place young Saudis in front of the house and behind the scenes, nurseries that raise millions of plants to restore landscapes that had gone quiet. A new airport built to look and behave like the first 5 minutes of a holiday, not the last hour of a line. These are the polished narratives. There are other stories, too. Stories of pressure and pace, of budgeting that rises because ambition rises, of opening dates that move to accommodate design that refuses to compromise. There are environmental questions that never go away, questions about coral heat stress in a warming world, questions about how many visitors an ecosystem should welcome and still remain itself. You cannot talk about luxury without talking about responsibility, and here they try to put both in the same sentence every day. Zoom out and the Red Sea is not alone. A little further north sits Umahhat, anchored by a natural bay and a promise of wellness made extreme. Plans speak of a luxury health destination, a place where art museums share space with medical-grade longevity programs, where you can buy a painting in the afternoon and buy 10 more years over dinner. Triple Bay curves like a crescent moon, golf loops along cliffs. The water is so clear you can count the sand ripples beneath a moving boat. This is the new gravity well for the global elite. When winter hits the Riviera and the boats tilt toward the Caribbean, the captains make a different calculation. Sail south to warmth, to new harbors, to islands where service has been trained to feel like ceremony. But there is also a personal chapter that follows the crown prince far from home. The Maldives, Vela Private Island, a full resort rented for a month and turned into a private festival. Headlines were loud, the guest list was brighter than the beaches, the numbers were as large as the music. For some, it read like dominance. For others, it read like a new generation showing the world how it intends to spend, to celebrate, to set tone. Luxury is a conversation, and this network of islands has become the stage where the conversation is changing. There are the obvious themes: architecture overset with reef, villas like sculptures, wellness that feels like ritual, retail curated like a museum. Then there are the subtle themes: training and talent, local sourcing, materials that weather into beauty, supply chains that are built to be invisible and accountable at the same time. Consider what a day in this kingdom can be if you move from island to island. Morning on Sindala, coffee with a view of white hulls and clean wakes, a short helicopter hop to Shura for a round of golf with sea air in every shot, a seaplane to Umahhat for an afternoon dive with scientists who can point to coral colonies by name, a sunset arrival at Shabara, where dinner is served in a sphere of glass while the sea turns indigo, a night flight to Thual, where the only sound is the hush of water against steps. It reads like fiction. It is not fiction. What does it say about power? What does it say about the future of tourism? It says that the next race is not tallest or fastest. It is quietest, cleanest, most integrated with place, most carefully staged to feel effortless. The ultimate flex is no longer a visible engine. It is a silent system. There are cultural cross-currents here that are difficult to capture in a single frame. Saudi hospitality is formal, generous, ceremonial. The new luxury audience wants casual, barefoot, and fluid. On these islands, the two meet. You can step from a majlis with coffee and dates into an electric buggy that takes you to a wellness ritual that blends oud and ice bath. You can watch a falconer at sunrise and a marine biologist at noon. Old symbols and new symbols are learning the same language. The airport experience has been designed to prime expectation. Architecture that filters light like palm fronds. Corridors that open to courtyards. Scents curated to calm after long flights. Luggage arrives without drama. Transfers appear exactly when you think of them. It is the hospitality version of predictive text, everything finishing itself for you and usually getting the ending right. There is also the question every massive project must face. Will this last? Will the reefs thrive? Will the villas age into grace? Will the teams keep delivering the same exacting performance in year 5, in year 10, when the newness has settled into ritual? The answer will arrive slowly, in the condition of the water, in the sound of birds, in the way guests speak when they leave and whether they return. From a distance, the Red Sea Kingdom is an idea written in big numbers. Up close, it is an accumulation of small choices. How much light to allow into a bedroom at dawn? How warm to keep the plunge pool at night? How to coach a staff member to move with equal parts confidence and humility? How to make a boardwalk that flexes with the tide and still feels like stone? This is the most interesting thing about modern luxury. It is built from invisible parts. Decisions that never make a press release, details that you only notice when they are missing. Here, they try to make them present always, and they try to make them feel natural. There is one more image worth holding: a guest standing on a villa terrace long after dinner. The sea is dark velvet. The horizon is a silver thread. Somewhere beyond that line lies Africa. Somewhere behind lies a desert. And here, between them, a necklace of islands glows softly, each bead its own world. Each world a promise that beauty and comfort and care can be choreographed into a single experience without breaking the place that hosts it. This is what the project wants to be remembered for. Not the price tag, not the headlines, but the feeling of being held by a landscape and a design team working in concert. The feeling that luxury can be a conversation with nature, not an argument. He is not just building resorts. He is building a portfolio of futures, some for weekenders, some for residents, some for dreamers, all for a kingdom that wants to be known for its coast as much as its sand. If you want to keep exploring the hidden worlds of wealth, power, and the new empires that are rising on water, subscribe to Luxury Throne. We will take you inside the palaces, the islands, and the dynasties they are building. The surface is only the beginning. The story goes deeper. Subscribe now and step into the world they were never meant to show you.